Alright guys, we are 3 months into 2025 and I'm here to give you the pep talk that you didn't ask for but you needed. Today I'm going to be going over 12 healthy habits that have really transformed my life in the past year. I used to be super anxious, super stressed all the time about every little thing. Like if something wrong happened in my day, it would totally set me off. I've implemented some of these habits, actually all of these habits, and I feel much better about my day-to-day life. So let's hop right into the healthy habits. Habit number 1 is focus on yourself and your circle of influence. And I heard about this concept just honestly a couple days ago, but I feel like I've been doing it in my life for a long time. Think of the middle of the circle as things that you can control. So that's your circle of control. That's, you know, did you move your body today? Did you eat healthy? Did you journal? Did you read 10 pages? Then you have a circle of influence. Did you hang out with a friend and have a positive experience with that person? Did you make somebody else laugh? So it just goes a little bit further outside of your control directly, but still something that you can have an effect on. And then there is that outer layer, which is things that are outside of your control. So you can call that your circle of concern. These are those thoughts that are like, oh man, I feel like I'm gonna totally tank that presentation even though it was in my control to study and, you know, make sure I had my talking points down, and I did that. Basically, it's this nice way of saying if it's not in your hands, then it shouldn't be in your head. You have control over it. You most likely know that there's something you can do. Focus on yourself and focus on where you can actually make a difference, because the circle of concern, those are just stories that you're making up in your head. Tip number 2 is try to go off substances for a month or longer. I actually did dry January this year, but you can also like go off things like if you're a gardener, if you stop doing that for a while, see how you feel. If you smoke a vape or you smoke cigarettes, obviously that one, you know, that can be addicting, so it's probably going to be a lot harder to stop. I've never really had a nicotine addiction, so I can't speak to that, but I've seen family members go through that and get off nicotine, and it's really, really difficult, but it's always worth it and they're always so happy when they do. I would just suggest like try to go off substances for a month, like all substances, and you don't have to go cold turkey or anything, but just try it and see how you feel. It was nice to try it, and it also kind of showed me that I can do stuff like that and I can do hard things. So just a thought, you know. Tip number 3 is to have a why behind what you're doing, and you want to return to your why when things get hard. I'll tell you one of my whys, why I want to like eat healthier and work out more, for example, and like stay active in my life. I really want to take good care of myself so that when I'm older, I, you know, don't have as many problems. And also when I do take good care of myself, I have so much more energy. I feel better. I feel happier. I feel less anxious, less depressed, all of the things. That's really my why. It's like, I just want to feel good. Your why can be really, really deep too. It can be, you know, something that maybe shifted your entire life. Tip number 4 is also kind of a statement. So, and it sort of goes along with tip number 3 because I was talking about health and stuff. Your why doesn't have to be health related, but tip number 4 is you only get one body. You only get one pair of teeth. You only get one, or a pair of teeth, what? You only get one set of teeth. You only get one face, one nose, 2 eyeballs. So take care of yourself, right? So that means that's more than just, you know, working out and eating healthy. I think those are huge, and that's a big part of the reason why, honestly, I've just been feeling on top of the world lately, and I can tell I've just noticed a huge change in myself and my personality, all for the better, because I'm just taking better care of myself. You do only get one body, and I'm not saying like you shouldn't have candy. Like I definitely housed a bag of candy the other day, but I try to really live by like the 80-20 rule. So like 80% I'm eating fairly healthy or whole foods, and the other 20% is like enjoy your life, you know, whatever. You will feel so much better when you are, you know, doing things to actually like care for yourself. And I totally have been in a place in my life where like working out was kind of more when I was younger and I didn't really understand my body as much, but like I would eat a bunch of food and then I would say, oh my gosh, I have to work out and like burn these calories off. Really detrimental way of thinking. Nowadays I work out because it makes me feel so good, and I actually am like pouring love into myself and not pouring hate into myself, because you really can't hate your way into your dream body. You can't hate your way into your dream self in general. Also, just be nice to yourself. Your inner thoughts and your inner monologue matters, but I'm going off on a tangent now and outside the tips, but there's a bonus tip for you. Tip number 5 is your mind creates your reality. Something that's really interesting too, I think I said this in a previous video, but I used to be like a big overthinker, and I would think about people thinking about me or passing judgments on to me and basically just making that up in my head. I heard someone say that's really judgmental because you're making this person out to be the bad guy. You're basically saying that they just go around thinking bad thoughts about you and other people, when in reality, I was the one thinking bad thoughts about myself and using them as kind of the conduit of that, if that makes sense. It goes along with this other line that I heard recently, like the poison that you see in others is the poison that's within you. I've actually found that to be true in many more cases than not. Like when I see something that annoys me, I try to reflect and say like, okay, is that something that I do to myself, or like a thought pattern that I have that's annoying to me? I keep saying annoying, but you get what I mean. We all live within ourselves, within our minds. Everybody can have the same exact day, but experience it in such a different way. Like have my water, have my coffee, make a breakfast of eggs and toast, and sit down at work for the day and feel really good and really happy inside, and someone else could do the exact same thing and feel really unhappy or really unfulfilled. They're like, oh man, like I have to make myself breakfast. Oh, I have to make this coffee. I have to sit down at work, while someone else on the other side is saying, oh my gosh, it's another day, it's beautiful, I'm hearing the birds chirping, and oh my gosh, I get to have this beautiful water that's gonna nourish me, and wow, now I get to make myself a honey cinnamon latte. Not that everyone's excited to work all the time, trust, like I get it, but you get to work. You're not unemployed, for example. You say, oh, I'm so thankful I get to work this job that pays me decently and my boss doesn't micromanage me. Tip number 6, 2x your goals. That age-old saying, what is it? If you shoot for the moon but hit the stars, you still like made it further than you thought. Something, that's not the entire quote. Even someone that gives themselves a goal, your goal can actually still be limiting. Maybe you set a YouTube goal or something that's like, I want to get 1,000 subscribers. You could actually get 2,000 subscribers. You could get 10,000 subscribers. If you set out to get 10,000 subscribers in a year versus someone else who is trying to get 1,000 subscribers, you are going to be more in the mindset of somebody that has 10,000 subscribers. And this goes for anything, not just YouTube. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, because I've been coming out with new videos every week. And if you like this kind of video, comment down below. Like I was saying, someone who is trying to get 10,000 subscribers versus someone who's trying to get 1,000 subscribers, totally different strategies altogether. Someone who's trying to get 10,000 subscribers is going to make sure they have a super polished intro. The first 30 seconds are so buttoned up, so nice, really visually appealing, so they can really capture the audience. The 1,000 subscriber person is just trying to, get as many videos out as they can, maybe. Or like everyone's gonna have kind of a different strategy or way of doing things, but it's more about being in the mindset of the millionaire versus the mindset of the person who's trying to make a buck. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna think very differently. You're gonna have a different strategy if you are shooting for the moon and not the stars. Tip number 7 is keep promises to yourself. This one, I swear it took me 25 years. Like my frontal lobe had to fully develop in order to really understand this one. I have actually gained like so much inner confidence in myself, and it's because I am finally doing what I say I'm gonna do. I'm not messing around anymore. We are 2 months into the year and I have worked out 3 times every single week. Like that's just non-negotiable for me. I have posted every single week on YouTube. That's another non-negotiable for me. And that's pretty much like my only non-negotiables for my goals. So it's still really realistic, but just showing up, and it gives you a little book of things that you can look back on. It gives you a better sense of self, I think. And especially when that thing you're doing is difficult, like, okay, I could have laid on my couch literally all day, not filmed this YouTube video, not gone to the gym, but I did go to the gym because I had planned to go. You'd probably be way less likely to not keep a promise to a friend than keep a promise to yourself. So treat yourself like a friend and keep your promises. Okay, number 8 is kind of specific, but I think it's a really interesting topic. Learning what processed food is versus ultra processed food. I think it's just important to know the difference, so I'll tell you the difference. Ultra processed foods are foods derived from foods or parts of foods, and they are really cosmetic, so they look nice, and they're addictive. So we're talking like Doritos, Diet Coke, and I'm not demonizing any food here. I just want to say that too. Like I eat processed, ultra processed, non-processed, minimally processed foods. I just think it's important to like know the difference. And then processed foods, unprocessed or minimally processed foods, they can be in culinary dishes. Think of like a jam with like a couple ingredients, or bread that you buy from the grocery store. And then there's things that are minimally processed, so this is gonna be beef or a cucumber, right? Like, but it's actually interesting when you think of processed food, you do think like, oh, that's Doritos, that's, you know, something else, but something can be processed just by the way that you cook it. So if I were to cut up some zucchini and put it in a dish with put it in a pan with some oil and salt, that's actually me processing the food. And obviously, if you're not getting it, like, it's obviously better to try to eat more minimally processed foods as opposed to like ultra processed foods. I'm still gonna eat my candy and my Doritos from time to time, but I go back to that 80-20 rule. I guess that's more, not so much a tip, but like just FYI, there's ultra processed food, there's processed food, and there's minimally processed food. So tip number 9 is to try something scary every 6 months or every year or every 3 months. Expand your mind and try new things. I actually did this pretty intentionally this year. Like, I have I love my job. It's very cushy, it's very nice. I love working out. I've been working out since I was in high school. I like to do art. These are all things like I've kind of done in my life. I started piano lessons at the beginning of the year, and I have just absolutely been loving trying something new, challenging myself, learning to read music, and it's just been such a journey. I've actually like seen myself improve so much. Sometimes you get in these routines and you kind of think that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, I'm like 26, so I'm not that old of a dog, but I guess in dog years I would be. I just kind of like thought for a while, like, oh man, like that's gonna be so much work. Like, I don't think I can learn something like that, and I totally can, and I go to piano lessons once a week now. But it doesn't have to be something that's expensive or, you know, something that you even do weekly. Last year I took a pottery class where it was like a wheel class, and I made a bunch of bowls. Just like trying something new, like try something that you think you might suck at. It again kind of like builds up your confidence. Tip number 10 for my healthy tip is to get sunshine in your face every day, or try out a happy lamp if you live in like an overcast area, or if it's the middle of winter or something. Basically just try to get that vitamin D. The sun is going to be your best source of vitamin D, and of course you can supplement if you live in a really dark place or over the winter time. Speaking of, it's actually getting a little dark in here. Hopefully I'm not too backlit. Ooh, I'm a little backlit. Hold on. Excuse the lighting change. It is sunset right now. In the summertime, I definitely want to try to go on more morning walks, and it just feels so good. There's a ton of science behind it too. I'm not gonna read the Google definition right now. Just try to get more sun. Try to at least get sun once a day. Okay, tip number 11, and this one I really hate to say. Because I've kind of said it already throughout this video, but it's daily movement. Yeah, I really hate to say it, but eating healthy, moving daily, it really works. It really works. And if you're not a daily mover, I get it. I love to be horizontal. I love to lay down. I'm a Taurus. Like, coziness, blankets, give me the squishmallows. Like, I'm here for it. But I really have been trying to make an effort, especially on like my rest days, to go for a walk and do some like simple stretches, literally just for like 5 minutes. And sometimes I even like to stretch in the morning. It just kind of gets the blood pumping, but there's just so many benefits to just moving your body. I feel like it's cured a lot of stuff for me internally, externally, and I have nothing but good things to say about daily movement, and I think a lot of people know that is a good thing to do, so I'm not going to harp on it too much longer, and I'm going to get to the last tip, which is it's always going to be you versus you. I am not a competitive person. I don't care if I win. I never really did like a ton of team sports growing up because they'd probably be sick of me. I was always like very individual with like the sports that I did. Like, I did gymnastics and I tried instruments, and anyways, this is besides the point. But I just want more people to realize, like, you can still be competitive, but you can be competitive with yourself. Like, you can do 1% better than you did the day before. It doesn't have to be this huge change. If you ever find yourself comparing, do you really want to be in their shoes? Like, honestly, the thing about being a person living around other people or just being around other people, seeing them on social media, is you will never, ever in your life know what it's like to be someone else. Know what someone else is thinking. Know how someone else's brain works. I would much rather take the chance on myself and try to fix what's going on up here before I decide I want to be like or trade places with somebody else. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below your favorite tip, or just if I missed something, add in your favorite healthy habit, healthy tip down below so that we can all have a conversation in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.